Welcome to today's episode of David VS Goliath, a podcast dedicated to helping small businesses leverage technology to not only help them compete against their large competitors, but win. Your host is currently the CEO of Anthem Business Software, a three-time Inc. 500 recipient, and a serial entrepreneur with a passion to help small businesses everywhere find, serve, and keep more customers profitably. Please join me in welcoming your host, Adam DeGraide.
Hey everyone, it's Adam DeGraide with a fantastic, super special edition of the David VS Goliath podcast. As you know, I've been breaking some of these episodes out into shorter segments. I don't want people to miss the wisdom and things that I've learned in these episodes. And this is so profound. The original link to the original interview will be in the actual comments in the description below. So make sure you check it out, the full one. But I'm going to take a small segment of episode 2, which was was episode 6, part 2 of an interview I did with Bob Tasca, where he talks about the one thing businesses have to know about to succeed. Well, today's episode is brought to you by AutomateMySocial.com, where if you're a small business, you can automate up to 100% of your social media. The creation, the posting, the scheduling, the distribution, everything. Save thousands of dollars, get better results with AutomateMySocial.com. You can also visit us online today at David VS Goliath Podcast.com, where you can apply to be on the podcast and also subscribe to be on the podcast. Well, let's get right to it. This is such wisdom and so fantastic. I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. There's a difference between knowing and hoping. Let's get to it. Here's Bob Tasca. And we're back for part 2 with the illustrious, the handsome, the way better in shape person than me, Bob Tasca III. Bob, welcome back to David VS Goliath podcast. Thank you for joining us again.
Oh, great to be on, Adam. Anytime.
For those who are watching this one for the first time, stop. You got to go back. You've got to see what he said last week, because it's fantastic. We've already talked about plans with goals. We've already talked about how the Tascas try to find, recruit, and train great people. We talked a little bit about the tools. We talked about CRM. We talked about some marketing. Is there any other tools, Bob, that you want to have that, if you were thinking to yourself, this small business is thinking to themselves, man, I just need to have one critical thing, one tool in their business. Would you say it would be CRM? Would you say it would be email marketing? I mean, what would you say to that person who is either A, just starting, they're small, they're growing? What is the one essential tool you couldn't live without?
Well, I can tell you, I don't think there is one, Adam. I think there's a couple, because you can't live without a CRM. Okay, you can't live without some way of measuring success internally, whether it's financial, whether it's closing ratios, you name it. So you need to have some form of software to be able to measure your business. Okay, because a number is only good or bad by comparison.
That's true.
You certainly need a CRM, okay, to manage your customer database on how, frequently you target your customers, how you look at that data, and then for us, we, on a marketing standpoint, we have tools that go out and run our Google campaigns and our search engine optimization. And those are critical, to know where your business is placed online, because that's where all the eyeballs are today. So yeah. I couldn't say there's one. I think you need all three.
It's interesting that you say that, because, when I think about the type of people that listen to David VS Goliath, you've got aspiring entrepreneurs, you've got small business owners of various sizes, right? You got small business, a sole proprietor, you got someone who's got 50, someone who's got 150 employees. When it comes to marketing and management of your business, you said something very, very important. You have to know what you're measuring and why. Yeah. And you have to have a target that you're going for, and you have to have something to compare yourself to, right? It can't just be some nebulous idea. We talked about this last week, where you can't just say, I think we're doing good. We hope we're doing good. We're not too sure if we're doing good. You have to know we're doing good. And these tools absolutely help small businesses absolutely achieve that. CRM, marketing automation, anything that you can think of to make your life easier, more effective, and efficient, and to give you a window into what's happening on the other side with your customer makes all the difference in the world. Bob, as the owner of your business, as the vice president, one of the owners, How often do you and the other owners look at this information?
Daily. We're looking at key reports every single day to get forecasts. So, I think you start with a forecast, right? So at the beginning of the year, beginning of the month, we set our forecasts. So what do we want to do this month? And then we track it. And there's reports that go out in our company weekly. So we know it's not like we get to the end of the month and say, oh my God, it was a shitty month. Like, wow, it was a surprise, right? There's no surprises. We know
it's coming, right?
we know 5 or 6 days in that it may not be a good month, okay? And by having that data in that timely of a fashion, you can do something about it. You can do something about it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 days into the month. You can't do anything about it, 25 days into the month.
Yeah.
So tracking the data against a forecast is critical, because I've always believed the number is just a number, right? Unless it's compared to something. And the best way to compare it to is a forecast on what you are projecting, goals that you need to hit, whether it's monthly, quarterly, or yearly, and you track it. And then you look at a number, and you either do one or two things when you look at a number. Celebrate it, like, yeah, we're doing good, or two, we got a problem. Otherwise, don't waste your time looking at numbers if you can't look at it in that perspective.
You said something really interesting, too, that early on, because if you wait too long to know,
too late,
you're dead. I have some great friends of mine that have started businesses over the years. Some have grown their businesses to be 15 times more successful than mine, and others are still trying to get off the ground. And if I was going to say what the key difference really is, I think you just nailed it, is they know early that something's not working so they can change it effectively. And we got to take a quick break from a corporate sponsor, Automate My Social. We'll be right back after this message.
Do you own a business? Do you have or need a social media presence? If you are like most businesses, you spend either no time or too much time and money on your social media strategy, spending thousands of dollars per month only to get mediocre and inconsistent results. This leads to frustration and, in some cases, sleepless nights. Introducing AutomateMySocial.com. Automate 90% of your social media and never have to think about it again. That's right. Automate your business's social media posting and strategy like forever. Automate the essentials and customize only what's needed. Save time, save money, and get better results with AutomateMySocial.com. Our patent-pending technology gives you the ability to automatically create your social post and distribute them immediately, like in seconds, across all your social media platforms. Stop the madness of paying someone to create, post, and manage your strategy, and let our software do the work, so you don't have to. Oh, and if you're an agency or social media manager, you too can let our software do all the work, and you can get all the credit. It will be our little secret. With AutomateMySocial.com, you can have it all. It's easy to use, never complains, and never asks for time off or more benefits. See this amazing new software application at AutomateMySocial.com. If you own a business or manage client social media and want to save time, energy, money, all while increasing your return on investment, then let's get this party started at AutomateMySocial.com.
I want to switch gears and go back to the family a little bit for those that maybe are starting on part two with your interview. Can you think of a time, one experience, or maybe a handful at the dealership when you were watching your grandfather, watching your dad, your uncle's work, where that hit you like a ton of bricks and inspired you?
Yeah, I think, my whole life, work ethic. I think just seeing how hard they worked and how much passion they put in. They love what they did, so you never work a day in your life, and that sounds good. But it's work. I mean, you got to go to work, and you love it, you're passionate about it, but you got to go to work. And the work ethic that they put in early on was very inspiring. My grandfather also had a very inspirational way of looking at success, from his perspective. He said his secret to success was simple. He asked the right people the right questions and remembered the answers. And that's such a profound statement, because when I get to speak to high schoolers around the country, I first talk to them about work ethic, which I learned at a very early age from my family. The second thing I look at is I tell people all the time, be responsible with your life. And when I mean your life, not drugs, alcohol. If you haven't figured that out by now, you're already in trouble. I talk about your time. Being responsible with your time is the most precious asset you'll ever spend in your life. And you have a choice. Do you want to hang out with the winners or do you want to hang out with the losers? See, me, I always want to hang out with the winners.
Me too.
It's early on, because I figured that if I can hang out with the winners, if I can ask the right people the right questions and remember the answers, I got a really good shot of winning like they're winning, right? When I started my race team, I didn't call up every single person out there that lost and said, hey, what do you think I should do? I went to people like John Force, Don Schumacher, Tony Pedregon, some of the winningest people of all time, because those are the guys that I wanted to learn from. And it's so important. And then back in episode 1, Adam, you and I talked about goals, and goals without a plan is a wish.
That's right.
And I don't want the wish. My family all along, they had goals. They had plans to achieve those goals, and they worked hard at it. And I tell people sometimes, I say, something, hard work does not always equal success. You're going to work really hard at something, and you're going to fail. But the truth is, if you don't keep working hard, you're destined for failure.
That's right.
The only way that I know to overcome failure and obstacles is to continue to put that work in, to continue to follow your dreams and plans, because the truth be told, plan B in life sucks. I don't like plan B. I want plan A to work, right? I don't wake up every day and say, gee, if plan A doesn't work, I'll just go to plan B. Well, I may have 2 or 3 plan A's, but I'm going to make damn sure one of those plan A's work. And that's been my mindset from early on, and certainly picked up a lot of that from my father and uncles.
Yeah. You must. First of all, I'm getting goosebumps. That's how pumped I'm getting from this, man. You're firing me up. That was so profound. I get chills every time I hear Bob talk about his family and the things he learned from his grandfather and his fathers and his uncles, and now what he's imparting to his own children, and the family business just continues to grow and expand. But think about that. If you ask the right people the right questions and you listen and you pay attention, you can learn and you can do just about anything. Well, this week was amazing. Next week, you're going to learn about what it's like to be in the front seat of an NHRA drag race funny car with Bob Tasca. Make sure you tune in next week. Thank you so much for watching the David versus Goliath podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, share. Let's go, guys. Thanks for everything. Have an awesome day. We'll see you next week.